Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Red Eyes Black Dragon deck profile. So I'm really excited to see you guys because this deck is based around one of the most nostalgic monsters of all time and one of my favorite monsters ever created, Red Eyes Black Dragon. This deck is super cool and I'm really excited to show you guys all the tech cards I have in this build. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell on there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards, like getting your name description every single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month you're a patron. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Red Eyes Black Dragon. This card is the key card of the deck that you're going to be using to make all of your plays. So you want to play 3 copies of this card. Plus, it's just a really awesome boss monster. I then play a single copy of Red Eyes Black Flare Dragon. This card is basically just an additional copy of Red Eyes Black Dragon. It has the ability, this card is treated as a normal monster while face up on the field or in the graveyard, which is the effect of all Gemini monsters. And while this card is a normal monster on the field, you can normal summon this card to have this card become an effect monster, and it gains the following effect: that if damage calculation is performed involving this card at the end of the battle phase, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to this card's original attack, which is 2,400 points of damage, which is absolutely crazy. I then play a single copy of Dark Magician. Dark Magician is a really good one-of in the deck so that we can go into Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, which is a awesome, really powerful boss monster this deck can summon extremely easily. I then play a single copy of Red Eyes Alternative Black Dragon. I feel like 1 is totally fine for this build. There's a lot of ways to search this card, so I feel like 1 is totally fine for this particular build. This card is easy to summon to your side of the field because it has the ability, if this card is in your hand, it can be special summoned to your side of the field by tributing a Red Eyes monster from your hand or field, but you can only summon this card once per turn that way. And if this card is destroyed by battle, or if this card in its own possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, then you can target a level 7 or lower Red Eyes monster in your graveyard, accept another copy of this card, and special summon it to your side of the field, which is a really good effect. And if it was a Red Eyes Black Dragon that you summon with this effect, the special summon monster's original attack is double, boosting your copy of Red Eyes Black Dragon to 4,800, which is absolutely insane. I then play a single copy of Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. This card is just a really good one-of as well that we can search off of Black Metal Dragon, but it's a really good one-of that has the ability you can special summon this card from your hand by banishing 1 face-up dragon-type monster that you control, and once per turn, you can special summon a dragon monster from your hand or graveyard, accept another copy of this card, which is a good effect to be able to use with this card, but you can only use this card's name effect once per turn. I then play 3 copies of Black Metal Dragon. Black Metal Dragon is an awesome 3 of the deck that is a really good searcher that has the ability you can target a Red Eyes monster that you control and equip this monster from your hand to the field to that targeted monster, and it has the ability that it gains 600 attack points, which gives the monster that 600 boost, which is pretty good if you equip it to a Red Eyes Black Dragon because it will boost it up to 3,000 attack points. It also has the ability, if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you get to add a Red Eyes card from your deck to your hand, which is a great effect to be able to search out any Red Eyes card that you need with this particular card. You can actually go through multiple copies of this card during a turn, which is really awesome to be able to get multiple searches because it's not once per turn. I then play 2 copies of the Black Stone of Legend. The Black Stone of Legend is a great normal summon in the deck because it has a really good effect that you can tribute this card to special summon a level 7 or lower Red Eyes monster from your deck, accept another copy of this card, which is an awesome effect to just instantly get a Red Eyes Black Dragon on your side of the field. It also has the ability you can target 1 level 7 or lower Red Eyes monster in your graveyard, accept another copy of this card. While this card is in the graveyard, shuffle it back into the deck, and if you do, add this card to your hand, but you can only activate either or of this card's effect per turn. But it's a really good effect just to instantly get you a Red Eyes back into the deck so that you can roll through your Red Eyes, because you will go through your Red Eyes extremely quickly with this build. I'm then playing 3 copies of Bestial Magnamut. Magnamut is a really good 3 on this deck because it is actually a level 6 dragon, so we can use it to be able to fusion summon into some extremely powerful monsters like our copy of Comet Dragon. But it also searches dragons, and it's a DD Crow because all of your Bestial monsters actually share a common effect that you can target a light or dark monster in either player's graveyard and banish it, and if you do, special summon this card from your hand. And it's a quick effect if your opponent controls a monster. And if this card is special summon, then you can activate this effect that during the end phase of this turn, you get to add a dragon monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand, except another copy of this card, which is an awesome effect for this particular card to have, that you can basically use it like a DD Crow, like all of your Bestials have that effect, which is really good, but it also lets you get a search of any dragon, which is this card's unique effect. I then play 2 copies of Druid's Worm. Druid's Worm is a really good 2 in the deck, but you only really need 2 copies of this card. This card shares the effect just like your copy of Magnamut, that you can target a light or dark monster in the graveyard, banish it, and special summon this card to your side of the field from your hand, which is a great effect. But this card's unique effect is if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, then you can target a special summon monster that your opponent controls and send it to the grave, which is a great effect just to give you a little bit of removal. I then play a single copy of Saronir. Saronir is just a good one of, and actually the target that I usually use with Red Eyes Fusion to be able to send this card to the graveyard and a copy of Red Eyes, because it is a level 6 dragon that you can send to the graveyard with Red Eyes Fusion to summon out Comet Dragon, which is super cool. But this card has a really good effect that if this card is sent to the graveyard, then you can send a bestial monster or a branded spell or trap from your deck to the graveyard, except another copy of this card, which the card that you'll always send to the graveyard off this card's effect is our one of Lubellion. Lubellion is a really good one in the deck. It is a searcher and it can be special summoned from the graveyard, which is really good, but it has the ability, it cannot be normal summon or set. It must be special summoned from your hand or graveyard by attributing a level 6 or higher dark dragon monster, which Red Eyes Black Dragon is, which is super cool. But it also has the ability, you can only special summon this card once per turn this way. And you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard to add a bestial monster from your deck to your hand, except another copy of this card, and then during your main phase you can place a branded continuous spell or trap card from your deck face up on your field, which we actually have 2 different ones to be able to put on the field, which is really cool. I then play a single copy of my personal tech in this particular deck, and I'm actually going to be placing it face down to play Guess That Card, which I'm going to get you guys to comment down below what you think this particular card is. It's absolutely insane. It's a really cool one of, and you only need a single copy of it, and Magnamut can search it, which is super cool. So we're going to reveal that card in 3, 2, 1, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So let's go ahead and flip that card over, and it's a single copy of Dark Arm Dragon. That is super cool to be able to play this card in the deck. I know it's Dark Arm Dragon, but it's really easy to be able to summon in this deck. You play so many dark monsters, and it's so easy to control the amount of dark monsters you have in the graveyard with cards like your bestial monsters, because they banish light or dark monsters from the graveyard to summon themselves. So you can control the amount of dark monsters that are in the graveyard, and even search this card with your copy of Magnamut, which is why I play this card as a one of. And being able to pop multiple cards on the field per turn is just super good with this card. I then play some Kashtira cards. We're going to be playing 3 copies of Kashtira Unicorn. Unicorn is a really good 3 of in the deck because it has the ability, if you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand, and you can only use each of the following effects this card once per turn. That during your main phase, you can add a Kashtira spell from your deck to your hand, which is a great effect to have in this particular build. And when this card declares an attack or your opponent activates a monster effect, except during the damage step, it has the ability to, you can look at your opponent's extract, and if you do, banish 1 monster from it face down, which will give you a lot of knowledge of what your opponent is playing, which is why I play this card as a 3 of, and also it's a level 7. We then play 2 copies of Kashtira Fenrir. I feel like Fenrir at 2 is totally fine in this build. This card is really good, but it has the ability that it can special summon itself to your side of the field, just like your copy of Unicorn. It has the ability that during your main phase, you can add a Kashtira monster from your deck to your hand, which is a great effect. And when this card declares an attack, or if your opponent's monster activates its effect, then you can target 1 face-up card that your opponent controls and banish it face down, which is a really insane effect. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, I'm going to be playing a single copy of Kashtira Birth. This card is a really good one in the deck that you can search off of Unicorn, and it basically gives you an additional normal summon of a level 7 monster without tributing, which is an awesome effect for this card to have because we play so many level 7s in this deck, and it helps us go in for more plays, especially if you open up a copy of the vanilla Red Eyes and a copy of Unicorn. You can actually search this off of Unicorn by special summoning the Unicorn to the field, and then just normal summon out your copy of Red Eyes. Rise, turning it into not such a brick, which is really good. I then play a single copy of Branded Regained. Branded Regained is a really good card to be able to put on the field with your copy of Lubellion, because it has the ability if a light or dark monster is banished except during the damage step, then you can target one of those monsters and place that monster on the bottom of the deck. And if you do, draw a card, which is an awesome effect for this card to have, to be able to just let you basically banish cards from the graveyard and then get them back, which is really good. So if you banish them off one of your Bestial monsters effects, you can just put it back and then draw a card, with basically turning your Bestials into a draw engine as well, which is super good. I then play 2 copies of Instant Contact, and this is a really weird one, but I really love this card. So this card is really good in this deck because it basically is like instant fusion, because it lets you pay 1,000 life points to special summon a level 7 or lower elemental hero or Neospatian monster from your extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions, which is a great effect to be able to use because we actually can summon out a really cool monster with this card's effect, which is our copy of Dark Neos, which is a level 7, which gives us an additional level 7 to be able to summon to our side of the field so we can make Flare Metal, which is really cool. We then play 3 copies of Red Eyes Fusion. Red Eyes Fusion is a really good 3-up fusion spell that lets us fusion summon by using materials from the deck, which is really good to be able to fusion summon into a fusion monster that lists Red Eyes as a material, which is a awesome effect to be able to go into cards like our Comet Dragon or even go into Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. I then play 3 copies of Red Eyes Insight. Red Eyes Insight is a really good 3-up that's actually a Foolish Burial and a Search, because it has the ability to send a Red Eyes monster from our hand or deck to the graveyard to add a Red Eyes spell or trap from our deck to our hand, which is always going to be your copy of Red Eyes Fusion or one trap that we play later. But this card is really good to help you get your copies of Red Eyes into the graveyard so you can bring them back, or to be able, and also to be able to search out your copy of Red Eyes Fusion. I then play 3 copies of Allure of Darkness just to help us dig into the deck, because we do play a lot of dark monsters in this particular build. Being able to draw 2 cards with this card is just really, really good. So that's it for these spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're just going to be playing a few traps, and we're going to be playing a single copy of Red Eye, or Return of the Red Eyes. This card is a really good 1-of in the deck. This card is just absolutely insane. It has the ability, if you control a Red Eyes monster, accept another copy of this card, then you can target or accept a copy of Red Eyes B Chick, then you can target a normal monster in your graveyard and special summon it. And the really cool thing about this is you can actually bring back Dark Magician from the graveyard off this card's effect, which is just really insane that you can actually bring Dark Magician back to the field with this thing, because it lets you target any normal monster in the graveyard and special summon it. And the cool thing about this card is this is actually a once per turn. It's not like a Call of the Haunted, so you can flip this card up during the opponent's turn, bring a monster back, and then when it rolls around to your turn, you can actually use it again to be able to special summon an additional monster, which is super cool. I then play a single copy of Branded Beast. This card is just a really good 1-of in the deck. It has the ability once per turn during the main phase, if you control a Bestial monster, then you contribute a dragon monster and then target 1 card that your opponent controls and destroy it, which is a pretty good effect, which is why I play this card as a 1-of in this particular build. Plus you can put it on the field with your copy of Lubellion, making it really, really easy to get to. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. And yes, we have all 3 different rarities. This card is absolutely crazy. It is my favorite XZ of all time. I absolutely love this card. It cannot be destroyed by card effects while it has an XZ material. And when this card has XZ material, each time your opponent activates a card effect, inflict 500 points of damage to your opponent immediately after it resolves, which is a really insane effect. This card is also a monster reborn for your Red Eyes Black Dragons, because once per turn, during either player's turn, you can detach a material from this card and then target a Red Eyes normal monster in your graveyard and special summon it back to your side of the field, which is absolutely insane. If you have multiple copies of this card on the field, your opponent will take stack damage, which is really cool, because basically if you have 2 of them on the field, they'll take 1,000 points for every effect instead of taking 500. We then play a single copy of Dark Armed, the Dragon of Annihilation. This card is just a really good 1-of in the extra deck. Then once per turn, if you have exactly 5 dark monsters in your graveyard, graveyard, and you have you can XZ summon this card on top of a level 5 or higher Dark Dragon monster that you control as a material, which is really cool because all your bestials are level 6, so you can actually make this on top of a bestial monster, which is pretty cool. But it also has the ability that once per turn, or excuse me, you can detach a material from this card and then target one card that your opponent controls and destroy it, and then banish a card from your graveyard, but this card cannot attack the turn you activate this effect. But it's a really good effect just to be able to pop a card on the field and make a 2800 attack point monster. I then play a single copy of Hieratic Dragon, King of Atem. This card is a good one of the decks. You can make it with 2 of your bestial monsters. It has the ability to detach a material from this card to special summon any dragon monster from your deck to your side of the field, but it does become a 0/0, which is totally fine because you can summon out cards like Darkness Metal with this card, which is just really good. I then play a single copy of Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. This card is super easy to summon in this deck with Red Eyes Fusion, and it's just a really good one of an extract to have a walking negate and just have a really powerful boss monster that cannot be destroyed by card effects, and neither player can target it either. And since we are using 2 normal monsters to put into this card, it will get that double pop and burn damage, which is really good. I then play a single copy of Meteor Black Comet Dragon. This card is super easy to summon with your copy of Sarnir and your copy of Red Eyes Black Dragon, because it does take a level 7 Red Eyes monster plus any level 6 dragon type monster, which is any of the level 6 bestial monsters, which is super cool. And if this card is fusion summoned, you can send a Red Eyes monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half the original attack of that monster. So usually your opponent's going to take about 1200 points of damage on summon. And it also has the ability, if this card is sent from the monster zone to the graveyard, then you can target a normal monster in the graveyard and special summon it, and it replaces itself basically with a Red Eyes Black Dragon. I then play a single copy of Elemental Hero Dark Neos. This is just here for the instant contact, because we can bring it out with instant contact, and basically it's an instant fusion target. We then play a single copy of Access Code Talker, because it's just a really good one-up to be able to pop multiple cards on the field. You can play Boral Sword if you want to, but this card is just really good, and it comes out at like 53, so it's just really, really big. I then play a single copy of Unicorn to spin stuff, Phoenix to pop spells and traps, and a copy of IP Masquerade to go into my copy of Unicorn during the opponent's turn to be able to spin cards during their turn. I play a single copy of Dark, the Dark Charmer Gloomy. This card is just a really good one of the decks. We do play a bunch of Darks in this particular build. One copy of the Hieratic Seal, because we do play dragons in this deck, and being able to spin a card is just really good, while also replacing itself with another dragon monster. I then play a single copy of Striker Dragon. This is a really interesting combo with Striker Dragon in the deck, that you normal summon out Black Metal Dragon, link it away for this, get the search of Darkness Metal, and then banish this card for Darkness Metal, and then bring back your copy of your, bring back your copy of your Black Metal Dragon with the Darkness Metal, which is super cool, which will give you another search, because you can link into the copy of the Hieratic Seal, which is just really insane. And then you'll get another search off of Black Metal Dragon, which is really, really good. So just off a normal summoning 1 copy of Black Metal Dragon, you can actually get 2 searches, which is really cool by using these 2 cards. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. This deck is super cool to be able to play. If you guys have never played a Red Eyes deck before, you definitely should give the deck a try. I built a lot of Red Eyes builds, and this is one of my favorites because it's just super cool to be able to just include the Kashtira monsters and the bestial cards in this particular deck. And I really like the instant contact basically tech in this deck to be able to summon out the Elemental Hero Dark Neo. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.